Yo, fellas, if y'all want to see me wife a girl that looks like this, or even this, tap in with my Instagram, man. My goal is 10K followers. If y'all active, I will follow back. Come on, y'all. I know we could do it, but hey, here go the vid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my story. I know you don't know me yet, but my name is KJ. KJ Killerman to be exact. I'm here to tell you about how I became arguably the greatest wide receiver ever. But before we do that, make sure you guys watch this full episode to the end so you don't miss anything. And also, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now you got the money, the cars, and the clothes. 3 typical things that come with this NFL lifestyle. Even though I have it all, it doesn't mean much to me. It's all about the journey I took to get here. Now I'm not gonna sit here and cap like I came from a dangerous neighborhood, cause that wasn't the case. My neighborhood was pretty regular. A bunch of decent houses, not luxury, but decent. And just regular neighborhood stuff going on. Both of my parents had jobs and worked really hard. The house we stayed in was the same one they bought straight out of college. And even though they were able to make sure the bills were paid, we did struggle a lot, which is why I grinded so hard coming up playing football and ended up earning a scholarship to play at USC. It was really my dream school, not gonna lie. Only because I would dream about cracking them South Carolina females. Now I'm the type of player who gonna work on their game when everybody is asleep. It was plenty of days where I would be out there in the field by myself, working on my route running. No quarterback, no pigskin, just me and my headphones, to be honest. Looking back on it, I can honestly say that's one of the reasons why I ended up chasing greatness. My college career was going rough as I would be a third string for 2 years, but one game during my junior season ended up changing everything. Now our best receiver was out because he woke up one day burning after clapping the campus stop. And this was bad timing because we had a playoff game against Miami in a few days. And coach had me getting extra reps in practice that week because I was probably going to be playing a lot this game. I felt good during the reps in practice, but I can't lie, man. I had no idea what was coming next. Now I know what you're thinking. You finally got your shot to play after being a backup and you blew it. But the complete opposite happened. Not only did we get a blowout win, I put on the performance of a lifetime. The first time I got an opportunity in the game, I ended up getting a tough catch to boost our momentum. And after that, I never looked back. Our QB was rocking with me and I ended up getting 16 targets. And what's even crazier, I had 16 catches as well. I also racked up 3 touchdowns. The meanest catch of the game was one I had over their best DB. Man, that head tap was so bad, people still talk about it to this day. I know it seems insane that I would have a game like this after only being a third string, but y'all know how politics go in college sports, man. I was good, maybe even great, but coach was just never rocking with me. So when I got my shot, I played the game like it was my last. And you can best believe every time I scored that thing, I was acting a damn fool in the end zone. I mean, they always say keep it classy, but can you blame me though? Y'all would have probably did the same thing if you was in my shoes. And now that I think about it, the nastiest catch of the game might have been the last touchdown I scored over 2 people. Yeah, you heard it right. I scored it over 2 people. And with NFL scouts watching this game in the crowd, and after a performance like that, and also making that catch, I think it was safe to say your boy was already league ready. A few days later, I was getting the same amount of media attention as people like Corey Cash. Man, that dude was the best player in college basketball, and I was right there with him in the headlines. Crazy. I guess you could say after doing what I did, I was definitely the big man on campus. All of the faculty finally knew who I was. Don't even get me started on the females. I know every time I walked by, they was imagining me whooping they shit from the back. To be honest with y'all, I really wanted to stay and show out for a full season, but having NFL interest after one starting game is unheard of. And after talking with my parents, I decided to forego my senior year and test my luck in the draft combine. Now y'all know that feeling that you get when you about to crack and she hella bad? Yeah, this was nothing like that. I had no nerves at all. I was ready to come in here and show these scouts I was the real deal. Now this upcoming draft was wide receiver heavy, and it was gonna be hard to stand out. So I had to make sure I brought out my A game during the combine. Now first up we had the bench press, and I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking this thing would be a cakewalk, especially since I've been bench pressing females all year. I mean, this should be nothing. It's the same thing, right? Why y'all not saying right? But anyway, I lifted the bar, and then it was go time. And at first, I was knocking them things out hella easy. 1, and then 2, and then 3. And then right when it started to get to that 4th one, I started to feel it a little bit. But we was still going strong, man. And then I got to 6, 7, 8. And by the time we got to 9, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, now I'm really starting to feel it a little bit. And then I got to 10, 11, 12, and just kept going. My goal was to get 20. And by the time I got to 14, man, my arms was feeling it as much as they've been feeling it since I started. And I wanted to get 20, man. I was at 17. I fought for one more at 18. And then I tried to get 19, but it was just, hey, I couldn't do it, man. I finished right there. But still, putting up 18 reps of the weight that was on there, it was actually pretty impressive. And it impressed a lot of scouts at the combine. Now next up, we had that infamous 40-yard dash. Hey, and I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. When I was like 5 years old, I got chased by this chihuahua. I ran the fastest I ever ran in my life. So in this 40-yard dash, I just thought of that. I ended up getting a perfect start, and I took off on that thing, I ain't gonna lie. And I ended up finishing with a 4.32. Not bad, not bad. I later found out that I actually had the fastest time at the combine. That was actually crazy. Up next, I had to show the scouts I had hops. I figured my ex would be good in this event since she was always jumping to damn conclusions. But anyway, just like that, I ended up having 3 good performances in the first 3 drills in the draft. I was so hyped, man, I had to let out a Dragon Ball Z type of celebration. And I later found out I also had the highest broad jump at the combine. I was going stupid right now. Now the next event will end up being that 20-yard shuffle. Every day I'm shuffling. Nah, I'm playing, but you already know. Your boy did good on the 40, did good in the broad jump, so we had to lock in for this event. So I hit a mean cut, hit another mean cut on time and sprinted, and I ended up finishing with 4.09 seconds. Now it wasn't the highest at the combine, but it was still like top 5, so we was still in good shape. Now next up, it was time to do what I was actually here to do, and catch the ball. And on the first route, we ran a little slant, stumbled a little bit, but I still ended up getting the catch on time. Now on the next one, I was running a little in route, got that mug on time. All right, we 2 for 2 so far. Then on the next one, I had to run a little comeback, and I had been working on this one. And the comeback, hey, it was success. Now we at 3 for 3. Then I had to run a little out route. You know, I secured that thing easily. And right now we looking good in this drill, man. I ain't gonna lie. Had to run a little post, and we ended up securing that. But during this whole drill, I was thinking to myself, man, do not drop a pass. That is something we cannot afford to do. And we was looking good so far. But on this one route, I ended up having some miscommunication with the quarterback. And that thing just went nowhere near me, and it was all bad. But I had one more rep to lock it in. It was a little deep route, and I ended up securing that thing. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely pissed about that miscommunication with the quarterback, but all in all, I had an amazing draft combine. And next thing you know, I was sitting in the draft room with my agent and Deion Sanders. and I was just waiting on that call, man. I felt like I had a good performance, and I was really taking a chance. And then next thing you know, I finally got it. Everything was moving by super fast. It felt like I was just at the combine and then boom, I was at the draft and then boom. I'm really sitting here with my agent about to sign this contract. And I was thinking the same as y'all was thinking. I was definitely iffy on going to the Patriots. But I mean, when I saw 17.2 million, I couldn't be mad at all. I mean, yeah, I was going to a team that was fairly bad, but at least I secured that bag, rhyming accidentally. But I ended up signing that thing, and there it was. Your boy had finally made it to the NFL. I had put in a lot of work. My parents ain't got to work no more. And now, the journey to me becoming the greatest wide receiver ever had finally began. I'll never forget my first time walking through that NFL tunnel, man. It was the first game of the season, and the energy in the crowd was definitely there. I was feeling hype. I mean, you feel that type of hype in college games, but hey, this was different. I was a pro now, and starting off the game, I was really looking for my first reception. But our QB was Mac Jones, and I ain't gonna lie, man. At the beginning of the game, this dude was throwing a lot of ducks. Well, actually not the beginning of the game. The entire game, this dude was throwing some questionable passes. I mean, I get it. It was the first game of the season and everybody had nerves. But I mean, damn, some of these passes was just way out of reach and I had no chance of catching them at all. At one point, I thought to myself, man, the quarterback at USC could throw way better than this dude right now. And on top of that, we was getting smoked 17-0. And going into the half, Mac Jones ended up throwing a pick. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I ain't think that was how my first half of professional football was gonna go at all. Somehow our defense ended up getting the ball right back, and then he threw another pick as soon as we got the ball back. I was honestly trying not to get frustrated, but it was looking like our team was finna be cheeks all year. But then, in the third quarter, we finally got a break. Mac Jones had finally threw a dot, and the receiver ended up taking that thing to the 10, and we was in the red zone. Finally caught a break. And then, on the next play, I would end up getting my first NFL touchdown. It wasn't nothing but a little slant route, and I came over and caught that thing easy. But I definitely took a shot afterwards. But man, I was so hyped about catching the ball, I didn't even feel that. I just got up and started celebrating like I was the man. It was a big moment for me. First professional touchdown. Crazy. After us being scoreless in the first half and me getting my first touchdown and our first touchdown of the game, I think we switched the game plan to just give me the ball and get out the way. Cause Mac Jones started targeting me a lot after that. Now the team morale was down, but I ain't gonna lie, man, I was still here trying to play. I ain't care if we was down by 50, I was finna play until the clock hit 0. And they was trying to get the ball to me as much as possible, but the Eagles was on Mac Jones' head. Now it would be the next drive where we were at the 1 yard line where I would officially solidify myself as a problem in the league. You see, it started off as me catching a little slant route, and then I ended up getting like a 30-yard reception right over their best DB. And this was also one of the most iconic moments in my career, because after the catch, I stared down the entire Eagles team. Not just one player, the entire team. It made it worse because the DB was talking trash right before I got that catch over him. I mean, I know I was a rookie and we was losing, but I wanted to show them boys, hey, I ain't scared of none of y'all. And I don't care what team I'm on. I'm going to get mines in this league, trust. But looking back on it, it was still crazy I did that as a rookie, man. Some people still talk about that play to this day. I don't never hear the end of that thing. But what also makes it more iconic, that was not the end of me going crazy on the drive. I ended up getting a catch that definitely could have been out, but I ended up getting my feet in. And that was 2 spectacular catches back to back. And you best believe I was looking for the end zone. After getting 4 catches in a row, I mean, you would be thinking the same thing, right? And on the very next play, I guess Mac Jones snapped out of it and got back to his regular ways as he threw another duck. But then we ended up going for it on this 4th and 10. I was supposed to run a post route, but I ended up changing it to a comeback, and I just seen a wide open space in the field and secured that thing. And then next thing you know, we was back in the red zone, and I had a 1v1 matchup. Y'all boys should already know I was looking for the end zone, and I ended up beating my man on another slant and got the easy possession catch to get my 2nd touchdown of the game. And not only did I have 2 touchdowns, I was getting close to 150 receiving yards for the day. I mean, talk about a crazy debut. Now, unfortunately, we still ended up getting killed by the Eagles, but I had a promising debut. And even though I scored our only 2 touchdowns, the future was definitely looking bright. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and tuning in to the full episode. And I ain't gonna lie, I told y'all I'm arguably one of the greatest wide receivers ever. So this definitely ain't the end of the story. I mean, we got my whole career to talk about. But until then, I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next one. Peace. Yo, what's good with y'all? Hey, it's been a minute since we last talked, but my bad, I've been busy with the season. I'm about to head to the practice facility, but let me get y'all hip on what's been happening. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and watch the full thing. I'm not gonna lie, I had to get used to managing all this money. Plus, what most people don't know, you get a lot of free time in the NFL. But the way you manage it, that's on you. Aside from practice and meetings, I would go check out some of the high-end clothing stores. And I don't care how rich I am, bro, I am not paying $1,000 for one shirt. You best believe I had to get up out that store quick. I had pretty high expectations for myself, so you know I would get some extra work in. After practice, I would get some cardio in the sand. I wanted to prove that I was the best in my draft class. Not just the best receiver, but the best player in general. Man, I didn't have time to get some buns or nothing. I was too focused on the main goal. I'm definitely capping, but anyway. When I signed to the Patriots, I ended up getting a signing bonus. So you know I had an extra few M's in my pocket. Now I decided to save most of it, but with the rest, I ended up buying my parents a new crib. They played a big part in me getting to the league, so you know I had to get them right. The crib was smooth though. It looked like a baby mansion. It had 3 levels, a pool, and all that. I'm gonna get my new crib eventually, but not right now. I gotta stack my money up some more. And I also gotta make sure I'm gonna be staying in the same city for a while. I mean, y'all know this a business. I could be off to the next city in no time. You just never know. But that's really all I've been up to lately. So now, it's time to get back to the games. So in week 2, we had a matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Now I ain't gonna lie, them boys came out swinging and they put 7 up on the board early. But our first possession on offense, I ended up catching a bomb, and I took that thing all the way to the crib. I mean, talk about a hot start. Just like that, I had another touchdown in the books. I guess you could say all them workouts in the sand was paying off. But working on my route running and catching the ball, that wasn't all I worked on. I also practiced my blocking so I could get my running back some help. Of course, as a receiver, you got to be able to run and catch the ball. But hey man, if you could block, that'll help out your offense even more. And we needed all the help we can get, so you best believe I was gonna work on my blocking. As the game went on, these boys was running up them numbers on us. And me, I ended up catching another bomb, and I took another one to the crib. And I had my second touchdown of the game. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like it was easy though. I mean, yeah, y'all just saw me catch 2 bombs, but don't forget Jalen Ramsey on this team. And I ain't gonna lie, I used to sleep on dude, but he was definitely him. He even tried to get into it with me. But hey, I know I'm a rookie, but I had to show dude I ain't no punk. I went right back at him. I wasn't even tripping for real though. Cause as the game went on, I started to get hot. I was catching everything. I was getting toe taps. It didn't even matter. Just throw the ball my way and get out the way. I had about 4 receptions for 200 yards. And then I ended up catching another ball right on Jalen Ramsey. And I had my 3rd touchdown of the game. I guess you could say I was going crazy. But despite me having 3 touchdowns and putting the team on my back, we still couldn't come away with the win. Now in week 3, we had to go up against the Jets. One thing about the league that's different from college, man, you're gonna be seeing somebody every week. I mean, I just got done playing Jalen Ramsey, and now I gotta worry about Sauce Gardner. I mean, come on, bruh. But we was able to put a touchdown up on the board first, even though they had a field goal. We was starting off the game pretty good, and on the next drive, we got in the red zone, and my route was just like some Asian eyes, slanted, and I ended up getting my first reception and my first touchdown of the game. I was starting to make a name for myself in the league early. I mean, I already had a few touchdowns under my belt, and I had a decent amount of receiving yards. And it was only week 3. But this game against the Jets was pretty wild. I mean, it came down to the wire. And on 4th and 5, with about a minute and 30 left to go, I ended up getting a clutch catch that would put us in field goal range. We would end up tying the game and going to overtime. And that catch also put me over 100 yards for the day. But sadly, in the first play of overtime, that boy Mac Jones threw a pick, and we would end up taking the L. I was definitely heated in the locker room after, because we definitely should have won that game. But in this league, you gotta learn how to move on. And the next week, week 4, we had the Cowboys, America's team. Hey, any of y'all ever played Where's Waldo? I had the defender looking lost. He definitely couldn't find me. And on 3rd and 7, I ended up getting us the first down, and that'd be my first reception of the game. But you might as well call us the Swisher Sweets Patriots, because we was getting smoked. And in the 4th quarter, we had to make something happen. And on a crucial 2nd and 10, I ended up breaking free, and I was wide open. That boy Mac Jones threw a dot, and next thing you know, I put 6 on the board. Now I know it's kind of bold to dance like that in the end zone when we down by 2 touchdowns, but hey man, I was trying to get us going. It was already week 4, and we ain't even have a dub yet. And I felt like I had to be the battery for this team. So I was talking trash to the DBs and all that. I was trying to get the offense hype. We was gonna need it. On the next drive, we had little time left. I was getting guarded, but hit that boy with something mean, and I was wide open. I had got the ball out of bounds so I could buy us a little more time, but we was in the red zone now. Think of a pass in the red zone like Megan Thee Stallion throwing it back, because you already know I was gonna catch that thing. And just like that, I had another touchdown. I was on pace for another crazy game, plus we was coming back. But it was still more work to be done. And with 11 receptions and over 200 yards, I would end up having another explosive play. I was getting guarded well by the DB, but I broke off and got in a wide open field. And I put some moves on the defenders and got us in the red zone just like that. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I probably said every cuss word that was ever invented after I caught that. I mean, it was a hype moment. 14-20, and all we needed was a touchdown to get in the lead. Hey, whenever you need me, just call me. That boy number 17 be going crazy. Plus, I had hit some crazy moves. That was my first time attempting a juke in the league, and it actually worked. But if I could get that developed, hey, I might be even more of a problem. I was already fast, and I could catch the ball. Hey, if I become elusive, ain't nobody finna be able to stop me. But the game still wasn't over. And on 3rd and 10 in the red zone, I put the moves on the defender again, and I got the game-winning touchdown. Hey, I had a crazy day. I scored every single touchdown for the team, and I'm pretty sure I had close to 300 yards. And even though we got the dub by 1, I wasn't even tripping. We got a dub. But after that, things would not go how I thought. Now, y'all boys got to keep up, because the story finna get crazy. Now, after that performance, I was leading the league in receiving yards. And that was unheard of as a rookie. We only a few weeks in, but I was going crazy. Now, our week 5 matchup, it would be against the Saints. And coming off that win against the Cowboys, hey, I was trying to hype us up early. I actually ended up getting the first touchdown of the game. And most of our games, we always having to come back. So it felt good being the first ones to put points up on the board. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was trying to bring the intensity. Not only with my receiving, but hey, I was also trying to get some mean blocks out. I was putting some DBs on their ass. After that week 4 performance, hey, they was starting to call my number a lot. I wasn't complaining, even though it was a lot of targets. I was just trying to deliver. I was able to make some tough catches. Even this one where I got absolutely smacked afterwards. Hey, but it don't matter. I caught the ball and I got us in good field position. But that hit was definitely something. I mean, I fell backwards after that. I had to get up and act like I was Superman though. But I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a train just hit me. I even did the LeBron celebration after that. But somehow the Saints were able to put 2 touchdowns on the board before we could even get another one. And I was doing everything in my power to try to get us back in the game. But hey, all I could do is catch the ball. I can't do everything. And that boy Mac Jones, he was starting to throw some questionable throws. I mean, I know they was calling my number a lot, but hey, bro, he threw that thing in the triple coverage. Next thing you know, we would find ourselves down by 20. I ain't gonna lie, most players, they probably give up after this. But I was still mentally locked in. I was trying to do everything I could to make sure we at least put up a fight. I mean, I knew we probably wasn't gonna win, but hey, I was still trying to cook whoever was in front of me. And then I ended up getting another touchdown. I knew we was gonna lose and it was another blowout win, but hey man, I tried to have as much fun as possible. I was still a rookie and this was still my first season in the league, so I might as well have fun with it. And even though I had a good game, man, it just wasn't enough. Now next up, we had to go against the Raiders. And Wack Jones started off the game absolutely terrible. Tried to throw it to me and ended up throwing a pick right to the linebacker. It was looking like this game was finna go just like the other ones. On our next drive, I ended up getting 2 dangerous blocks. Hey, I put both of them boys on their backside. Hey, I told y'all boys I've been working on that blocking. Anything I could do to try to get us in the win column, man, I was gonna do that. But as the game went on, we was just trying to get things going. I ended up getting a nice little reception that would move us up the field a significant amount of yards. We just gotta execute when we in that red zone though. And on the next play, they ended up calling my number again. I got right past the DB and I basically almost scored a touchdown, but they ruled it down at the 1. And I don't know how, but we didn't end up scoring on that drive. And call that boy Mac Jones a vending machine owner, because that boy was selling almost every game. And he ended up throwing another pick, and we gave the ball right back to the defense. And the worst part about it is, they ended up scoring off that. Now, it was only a field goal, but bruh, come on Wack Jones. I mean, this dude was always hit or miss. Sometimes he'd throw some passes that I had no chance of catching. And he got the DBs talking trash to me like it was my fault. Nah, that's my QB, bruh. And as the game went on, they ended up putting another touchdown on the board. So now we was down 17-0. And I ain't gonna lie, this catch right here was another of them ones that felt like a train. I mean, I got hit by like 5 people, but I ain't go down for a little bit though. I ain't gonna lie, I really felt like Superman after that one, because it took 5 of them just to get me on the ground. I ain't celebrating nothing though. I mean, we losing badly. Can't really celebrate after that. We finally ended up catching the break after I caught this pass and took it all the way to the crib. Hey man, we still had a lot of work to do though. But y'all know what they be saying on NBA Jam.
He's heating up.
And just like that, they started to call my number even more. And I was just doing what I can to get us down the field. And we were slowly but surely making our way back to that red zone. And the next thing I knew, I was making almost every single play on this drive. I mean, we weren't running the ball at all. They was just throwing that thing. That boy Mac Jones was actually starting to throw some good passes after throwing 2 horrendous ones earlier in the game. But I mean, hey, we found ourselves in the red zone. I was just trying to do what I could, bro. At this point, y'all already know how I go. And then on the next play right after this one, ended up cooking the DB and got the catch for 6. I'm not gonna lie, I know them Raiders was getting kind of scared because they just saw what I did in that Dallas game, and this could easily be a repeat. We was in the same situation. And on our next drive, I ended up getting another big play to move us down the field. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the job done. Turnover on downs, and then they put another touchdown on the board. And this one, man, it was basically out of reach. Now everybody was just playing for stats. So you know, I was trying to get mine up for sure. I had ended up getting over 200 yards this game. But also, it was about 5 minutes left, so I figured maybe we could do a little something. Mac Jones ended up finding me for another good reception, but unfortunately, the vending machine was back. And on a crucial 4th and 10 that would give us a chance, Mac Jones threw the ball right behind me, and just like that, it was another pick. And that boy had like 8 picks on the year already. But also, what made this game crazy, I was at about 900 receiving yards already, and it was only week 6, and I was a rookie. I told y'all boys I was making a name for myself. I mean, that was crazy. I'm almost at 1K receiving yards, and I'm leading the league in receiving yards. But next week, man, before I could even blink, the Bills had us down by 20. That was crazy, man. It was looking like we could just not put the pieces together. I ended up getting this crazy catch that would get us in the red zone. And what made that catch so special, it's the one that put me over 1,000 yards for the year. Just like that, I did it. A crazy milestone, and it was only week 7. Man, I couldn't even celebrate though. We was down by hellas. And on the next play, 1st and goal, ended up getting our first touchdown of the game. Hey, but I mean, we was down by a huge margin, so I could celebrate, but not too much. I remember having a conversation with Coach before this game, and he was saying he loved the way I keep playing, even though we losing. It was 27-8, and I was still there playing like it was 0-0. And that's exactly what these coaches want to see. I mean, sometimes you get put in a bad situation, but you just got to make the most of it. And I was trying to do that. And it's crazy, I had that mentality, and it was only my first year in the league. It just seemed like we couldn't catch a break in these games though. I mean, we would get all the way down to the red zone, or get all the way down to about the 30, and then fumble it. But sometimes, I would end up breaking free just like this, and getting in the end zone. But, y'all know I can't do everything, man. I'ma ball out though, for sure. Now we was only down by 2 touchdowns. And after a good kickoff, they had us all the way to the 10. But I ended up breaking free on my route, scored another bomb. I took that thing like 80 yards. And just like that, I had another touchdown. I was getting close to 200 yards already. I mean, at this point, it was getting unfair. We was losing, but I was putting up godly-like numbers. But that's part of the reason why I was starting to get even more frustrated. I mean, I was doing all this and we was still losing. I even smacked this dude on the field just to let out some frustration. But we would end up taking that L. Now the next week, we had to go up against the Dolphins again. And you best believe that boy Jalen Ramsey remembered last game. So they was definitely going to be keyed in on me this game. But man, I ain't care about none of that. I was about to get mines. Now they came out swinging again just like the first game, and they put 7 on the board first. But hey, we was finna move down that field. I was fully locked. Jalen was too, but they wasn't finna be able to guard me this game. I was like Corey Cash out here. Next thing you know, we was in the red zone. And I was a red zone threat, man. That's easy money. Ended up getting our first touchdown of the game. Now we tied. But I ain't gonna lie, they did answer back and they put a field goal on the board. But hey, we was trying to come down on the next drive and put another touchdown up. And just like that, got another first down. And then, on this 2nd and 7, I would end up making another big play. Ran my route and ended up getting the catch on the run. Hey, I almost took that thing to the crib. And I even stiff-armed one of their DBs. After that, I was feeling myself. I got up and I was hitting some type of dance. I don't know what you call it, but it was hard. And just like that, we was in the range to score. I thought this was going to end up being my pass, but Mac ended up throwing a dime to Juju. And my boy got up in the end zone, and just like that, we had the lead. And this was different. I was not used to having a lead like this early in the game. And just like that, it got vaporized quick. Them boys ended up scoring, and we was down by 3. But all we had to do was keep making plays and keep putting points on the board, and maybe we can get our second dub. And that's all I was focused on, man. I ain't care about stats for real this game. I really just wanted to win. And just like that, your boy Wack Jones fumbled. And not only did he fumble, they took it all the way back and scored. I mean, we just couldn't catch a break at all, bruh. In the clutch, Mac Jones was definitely gonna fail you. And I ended up getting a head tap right over Jalen Ramsey shortly after that. I mean, at this point, it was feeling like deja vu. Each game, we would only get like 14 or 21 points. I would have a crazy game. And then we ended up selling in the 4th quarter. Or maybe even in the 3rd quarter. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think I've been doing a good job at being a good teammate up until this point. But now I was starting to get frustrated for real, bro. Like, it didn't make no sense. We had enough talent to at least win a few games, but we only had one dub on the season. And just like that, it was another L on our record. Even though I had a good game, man, I was heated. Man, I was starting to lose my mind, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. There's no way we was this deep in the season and we only had one win. Hey, we was the worst team in the league. It's kind of hard to enjoy having a historic season when you the laughingstock of the whole league. I mean, I was stressing, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's crazy to think I'm a rookie and I'm already thinking about requesting a trade. That's how bad it was. I ended up going back in the crib and looking on SportsCenter. Man, I had 1,400 yards. And there was still a lot of games left to play. So I could hit 2,000 easily. I mean, Tyreek almost did it last season, so why shouldn't I go for it? I actually had a talk with our head coach, and he was talking about shutting me down. I mean, we had no chance of making it to the playoffs, and there wasn't no point in me risking injury in these meaningless games. But I told him, hey, let me go for the record. Let me try to get 2,000. And he said, that's cool, but right after that, that'd be the end of my rookie season. Now, even though he approved, man, I only had a few weeks to try to get this record. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've been trying to be a team player this whole time, but now it was time to turn it up. And at the start of the game, one of our wideouts ended up getting hurt. So y'all already know what that means. It's time for me to try to go crazy. Y'all might as well call me KJ Tetris. Because on this play, you ain't see nothing but blocks. Now that gave our running back just enough space to get the first and then some. I honestly thought he was going to take that thing to the crib, but unfortunately he got tackled. He was just building momentum though, because Washington had already scored. After that, ended up getting a crazy sideline catch. I mean, y'all got to put some respect on my name, bro. Wherever you put the ball, I'm going to go and catch it. And just like Angela White, man, we was making something shake. It was starting to feel like that record was definitely going to get broken early. And man, on this 2nd and 10, we could have easily had a touchdown. But that boy Mac Jones, I don't know what he was looking at. I mean, he threw the ball like 7 feet in front of me. I was pissed. And on the next 3rd and 10, I had to make something happen. Ran the comeback, and ain't no way he could miss me on that. And now, we was at 1st and goal. After that catch, one of them DBs was trying to get tough and push me. But I had to tell him, bro, I don't know who you been dealing with, but hey, this ain't that. I already told him I'm on your head the whole game, and you ain't gonna be able to stop me. And then I told him, matter of fact, this next play for you. And just like that, I got right in the end zone. I don't know who these boys thought they was dealing with. Yeah, you best believe we ain't hear too much from Buddy after that one. But, hey, their offense ended up coming down and scoring again. So we had to put some more points on the board. And on the next drive, I started us off, moving us down the field. But hey, them DBs and linebackers was still talking. But honestly, I was all for it. The more they talked, the more I was going to try and go crazy. But as y'all know, in a game situation like this, we always end up selling. Next thing I knew, I blinked, and the Commanders had 35 points. Now we ended up scoring again, but it's like, come on, bro. How do we just be blowing games like that? It was just 14-7. Next thing I know, the boys had 35. We ended up having 19, and I got the 2-point conversion, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough. I got hyped, though, because I was getting closer to that record. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. We ended up taking the L 35-21. I just dapped everybody up, bro. I tried not to let the emotion show on my face, but I was still heated. I wanted that dub. And next up, we had the Indianapolis Horseshoes. And I ain't gonna lie, growing up, my dad never liked this team. Sent me a text before the game, and he said go crazy on them. So I said, bet. You already know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting close to this record anyway. I gotta go crazy. Next thing you know, we had 7 points on the board, and I almost gave us that 14. But I ended up catching that thing on the 1. And somehow, bruh, we did not score on 1st and goal. I don't know how. I guess that's just the life of a Patriot, bruh. And then things went bad to worse as our running back would catch the ball, and then he ended up fumbling. Luckily, though, they did not end up scoring off that. We found ourselves in the red zone again. And Mac Jones tried to hit me on the slant, but he threw another pick. I'm telling y'all, this man is a vending machine. He don't do nothing but sell. I didn't even call for the ball because I knew I was covered. Hey, but I guess he just figured, F it, KJ down there somewhere. And that's exactly what he did on this play. But luckily, he didn't throw a pick, and I ended up catching it for a big gain. And it was only my 3rd reception though. But hey, don't let this man fool y'all. He is a straight catfish. And on this play right here, Wack Jones at his finest. Y'all see he just threw a dot, and then he ended up throwing that. Man, I don't even know what to call that. And next thing you know, the Colts tied the game up after that. I mean, we just had the lead for the first time in forever, and just like that, we already made it a tie game. I mean, come on, bro. We could not catch a break at all. But the show must go on. And you know me, I'm going to do what I do. But I definitely think I should have got some more targets in this game. But it's all good. We're going to work with what we got. I mean, 4 receptions and I'm over 100 yards already. But hey, I don't put a lot of my trust in Mac Jones. And you clearly see why. But it doesn't stop there. It definitely gets worse. And with about 4 minutes left to go in the 4th, I was wide open on the slant. And Mac Jones threw it behind me for another pick. Not just a pick 6. And then the Colts took the lead, bro. Just like that. Luckily, it was still some time left to go in the game. And then on the 3rd and 17, I ended up whooping the DB and I was wide open, but Mac Jones overthrew me once again. But since Mac was my teammate and I couldn't hit him, I just took all the frustration out on the DB. And it was crazy because bruh didn't even do nothing. I just bumped him. I know y'all done seen that one LeBron meme. Just when I thought Mac Jones couldn't, he said, "Here go 2 more for y'all." And he threw another pick. And like a burrito from Taco Bell, man, this thing was wrapped up. We was going to lose this game 21-17. Man, at this point, I ain't even know what to say. But on the bright side, I was getting close to that 2,000 yard mark. And I only got 5 receptions this game. It wasn't even one of my better performances. But this next game, I was going to channel my inner Drewski and stand on business. We had a matchup against the Giants. And we started off early because we was the first ones to put points on the board. But hey, y'all know how we do. This don't mean nothing. If anything, the game's still 0-0 even when we up 7. Right before halftime, we was down 10 and I ended up breaking free for a bomb. And hey man, we put some more points on the board and we was gonna go into the half 14-17. I ain't even celebrate, bro. I just jogged back. I wasn't happy or nothing. I wanted to get this dub. Call me Yadier Molina because I was catching everything. During the drive, I told Mac Jones, look for me. Because you only threw the ball to me like 5 times last game. I'm going to need my targets today. And just like that, boom, had another bomb. Caught it right over the DB. Went straight into the end zone for 6. But just like the last one, no celebration. Jogged right back to the sideline. Let's get back to it. I'm telling y'all I was in that mode. And it just so happened that that play would be the play where I surpassed the 2,000 yards mark. It made it even more significant. I couldn't even celebrate it though because I was more so focused on the win. You best believe I did after the game though. But we ain't there yet. And on this 2nd and 10, got me another nice reception that will move us down the field significantly. The Giants had a 3-point lead and it was clutch time. And with 40 seconds left to go, hey, I told the team, you got to call my number. I don't want nobody else in these situations catching it but me. And that's exactly what they did. Ended up getting a nice sideline catch. Then on the next play, 1st and 10, got right back in the end zone. And you would think the end zone the girlfriend as much as I've been touching it this game. And I finally celebrated because that play right there will give us the dub. Got a 4-point lead over the Giants. And we finally got our 2nd dub of the year. And I hit 2,000 yards. Well, y'all know the deal me and Coach had. That would be how I end my rookie season. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me all year. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do a whole lot of thinking this off season. I ain't gonna give up just yet because I just did what I did in my rookie year and I feel like we could figure it out. I suggest y'all stay tuned because if you thought this year was crazy, hey, my sophomore year in the league is gonna be even crazier. So next time I see y'all boys, hey, it's gonna be up there and stuck there.